Whatever kind of event you're running, you probably want people to sign up online. So let's dive in to see how we can use Microsoft Forms to set up a registration form. First, you need to get to Microsoft Forms by going to forms.office.com. And on the Forms home screen, it's pretty helpful. There are a few options at the top, and one of those options is registration. So we're going to click there. It's going to open up a new Microsoft form. And I could start from scratch here by clicking Quick Start and choosing a question type, but we can see there are a few different templates here. So I'm just going to choose this event registration one here. When I click it, it populates the form. So it's got name, it's asking for the session they would attend, whether the shuttle service is needed, food allergies, and a few other questions as well. If I want to add my own question, I can click the plus here and choose what type of question. I'm going to go for a multiple choice and put t-shirt size. When I do that, it gives me these options. I can just click add all, and there we go. I've added the extra question to this template. Now this design looks all right, but I don't love the background, so I'm going to click on the style option at the top of the screen here. First, I can choose the layout, which is how it's going to appear on screen. At the moment, we've got the blocks side by side like this, or I could click and just have it as a simple form where I scroll down on the screen. And I can change the background as well. I'm going to click on customized here. I want something a bit more simple, so I click on this one and I'm happy with that. Now you probably want to check what this looks like for someone completing it. So I can click on preview here. This is what it's going to look like on a computer. I've got the information about the event at the top and all my questions on the screen. I can switch over to mobile view as well, so you can check that it will look all right if people are doing this from their phone. And then you're probably ready to send it. So I'm going to go back and now choose collect responses. And you can see by default, this form is set up so that anyone can respond here. I've got the link to the form over on the side here, and I can shorten it and then copy it if I want to. I could drop it into an email or a text message that I'm sending everyone. I've also got the option to put in individual email addresses to send this to, grab a QR code for it, or even embed this on an existing web page too. Now you've probably noticed there are some limitations here. For example, you can't take payment through the form and you can't cap how many people could fill it out, but you can do that in Jotform. So let's take a quick look at what's possible there. The first thing to know about Jotform is they have thousands of templates ready to go. So if you're creating an event registration form, there's probably something that has everything you need already on it. Here's the page just of registration forms as an example. Now I'm going to choose this conference registration form on the side here. If I preview it, I can see that it asks all the questions I need, their full name, email, address, phone number, and even has payment embedded as well. So I'm going to click Use Template to get started. That takes me through to the form editing screen, and on here I could go through and click on questions like this and remove them if I want to. I only want one person at a time to sign up, and I don't need their address, so I'm going to click and remove that one as well. And at the bottom you can see here's that payment widget that we saw in the preview. So I could set this up by connecting it with, say, my PayPal account, set up my products on here, and then they would be able to pay as they submit the form. So I don't need to follow up separately for payment. You can add questions, obviously, as well. Over on the left-hand side, I can click on Add Element, and I could add one of the basic questions over here. For example, I might drag the file upload question over here and get them to upload a headshot for their badge. If I go across to the right, you can see all of the different payment gateways that are supported here. And there are more advanced widgets too. And one of the more advanced things you can do in Jotform is conditional logic. So let's imagine I only want attendees to upload their photo. For sponsors, they're not going to need to do that. So I'm going to go back to the basic tab here, and I'm going to choose a single choice question and drag it onto the form like this. I'm going to say, are you an attendee or a sponsor? Put those options in here. Now what I'm going to do is go up to settings at the top here and go over to conditions. And you see I have the option to show or hide field. So I'm going to click here and say, if the are you an attendee or sponsor question is equal to someone choosing attendee, then show the file upload field. I save that, go back to the build page here. That means that by default, I want this to be hidden. So I click on the file upload question, go to properties and advanced, and then choose hide field. Now, if I want to check that that works, I toggle the preview button on the top right of the screen here. And let's try it. If I click attendee, then the file upload question appears. Now let's come out of this preview. The last thing that I probably want to do before I send this to people is to customize it. So I can click on the roller icon, the form designer on the right-hand side here. I could choose a color, or there are different themes to choose from here as well. I'm going to go back to colors and just choose that green color. You can obviously be much more advanced here and customize absolutely everything you need to with the form too. And talking of advanced, we're going to click on settings at the top of the screen here, and it's likely you've got a maximum limit on the number of attendees that can come to your event. So we can cap the number of responses that can be sent via the form. On this first form settings screen, we're going to click where it says form status enabled, and I can change from enabled here to say disable at submission limit. and I can put in the number of attendees that I will allow here. Let's say it's 100, and I can change the message that will come up here. So I might say the registration is now sold out, something like that, and click save. Now, after 100 people have filled it out, it will automatically close and you don't need to worry about being oversubscribed. Then the final step is to go to the publish screen. And just like with Microsoft Forms, I can click to copy the link to the form here. Or if I scroll down, I've got the option to get a QR code like this. Or if you just want to embed it in your own website, you can click on Embed on the left-hand side of the screen and choose iframe and go and get the code there too. And then once responses start coming in, we're going to switch from Form Builder on the top left here to Tables, and you'll see all of your responses coming in nice and neatly on this easy to view table. Now you could take things even further by using tools like AI agents or workflows that would allow you to do things like send pre-event emails or even send the free download or a ticket after they've filled out the event registration. I hope that was a helpful way to see how to create an event registration form. If it was helpful, drop us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.